If you are a web developer, you are probably familiar with one of the oldest jokes in this space. CSS experts will roll their eyes when hearing about your alignment issues because, as they'll be more than happy to highlight, there are like 10 different proven methods to align a button at center. Of course, none of those methods will work for you, hence the frustration we all experience when styling our apps. All jokes aside, knowing at least the basics of CSS is a prerequisite these days. What you might not realize is that cascading style sheets is far from being an old boring standard. There are lots of modern features emerging constantly, all aiming to improve your dev experience. So let's make sure you are making the most of the modern tools available today and look at 5 useful CSS features you might not be familiar with. I've been involved in front-end development for almost 15 years now, and during this time I always picked SASS over CSS because of one specific feature: rule nesting. Well, the great news is that this is natively supported in the browsers now, and starting December 2023, it has coverage across all major browsers. Taking a look at an example, you can see that thanks to nesting rules and the nesting selector, your style sheets become more readable, modular and maintainable. It also potentially helps reduce the size of CSS files, thereby decreasing the amount of data downloaded by users. And since we are talking about preprocessors, another big step towards going full CSS native is the support for custom properties, also known as CSS Variables. It's fairly common for most web projects to have a specific theme with fixed colors, dimensions and fonts. So we can define custom properties in the root pseudo-class by prefixing them with 2 dashes. Then we can reference these variables anywhere in our styling rules via the var function. Note that var conveniently offers a simple way to provide fallback values when the given variable is not yet defined. CSS variables are quite established in the space, and they've been widely available in all major browsers for a long time. Container queries, on the other hand, enjoy good support but are newer to the scene. These are a game changer for responsive design, allowing components to adapt their layout based on the available space of their parent container. Of course, most of us are used to media queries, which allow us to apply styles based on the characteristics of the device's viewport. Container queries, on the other hand, apply styles based on the size of a container element rather than the viewport. Another feature I am really excited about is the has selector. This one solves one of the oldest CSS problems, styling parent elements based on the state of its children. In the past, you had to fall back on a JavaScript workaround for such scenarios, but now you can easily add in your styles natively and remove a potential JavaScript dependency. In the same line, you can use the is pseudo-class to simplify complex selectors and improve readability. This can be combined in various ways to capture nested structures, and both has and is have good browser support these days. This video would not be complete without the mention of the grid layout. Floating and positioning are somewhat abstract concepts, especially for people with little CSS experience. The grid takes all this complexity away by providing a 2-dimensional layout system that allows you to create complex responsive designs. The layout is based on rows and columns, with intuitive rules you can use to create the structures you need. While the grid system is available for quite a while, 2024 brings on the addition of the subgrid. Now you can create smaller grids inside a bigger grid, so you can tackle more complicated designs with more ease. The grid is a powerful tool with many use cases and applications. It can feel overwhelming at first, but you'll find a lot of good documentation out there. However, if you are interested in my deep dive into the grid for dummies, please let me know in the comments. If you feel like you learned something, you'll probably find some of these videos interesting as well. Until next time, thank you for watching.